Hey, so you're about to watch an altered TCG box opening video where I recorded on this camera that was attached to my PC that I use for streaming, and I didn't realize that I had downscaled the whole thing instead of recording directly on my camera here. Unfortunately, with box videos, I don't have another box to open at the time, so I'm just going to run with the video I got. That'll be fixed in the future. Sorry for the inconvenience, and thank you guys for watching in advance. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, everybody. It has been a while since we've talked about really anything on this channel, but one of the things that I've been very excited to talk about has been this. We have boxes of altered TCG finally here. And since making my initial video, I've been able to play the game, I've been able to, sit and have discussions with other people. And what I wanted to do today was talk about some of my more uh, considered thoughts after having some time to, sit and really think about the game itself. So we've got a couple of things here. I've got a starter deck that I want to open up. I also have this little deck wallet as well from GameGenic, and I'm going to open all of this up. I did end up getting multiple booster boxes, kind of as a birthday gift for myself and my best friend, who conveniently has the same birthday as me. And he flew in for our birthday because we were expecting to get the boxes to open together, and that didn't happen. So we've agreed to allow myself to open one box on this video off camera, and we'll talk about the game as we go. So this is going to be kind of a random video. I'm going to talk about my experience with Altered, some of my concerns, parts of the gameplay, things I like, things I don't like, and then just some ramblings and some thoughts, because there's a lot to unpack about this game. So, anywho, this is the deck wallet. It has this like faux leather texture to it that I really like. Magnetic and typical GameGenic stuff. It feels great. This is where you would put a card, presumably like your hero card, a thank you, and does this? Oh, that's cool. I like that. Yeah, and then this could fit some silica gel. But I'm assuming this could fit two decks, right? You could have, well, we'll count them later, but I think, well, does it say? I think you could probably have two decks in here, which is pretty cool. Holds a full deck with double sleeve cards and tokens. That's neat. So you could either do two decks or you can do a deck and some tokens. I like this a lot, actually. Little GameGenic logo, and then cool. So that's neat. I like that. It's quite compact. Big fan, big fan. Okay, so let's start off with the what is this called? Starter deck. So there are six factions in the game, and I kind of briefly touched on them when the game was announced. There have been a lot of things since that announcement. Again, I've been able to play the games, and we've learned all of the cards since then. So some of the original things that I have said were not entirely true, and or we didn't have enough information, or there's some guesses and whatnot. So we'll go over that a bit as well. But we've got some little cardboard tokens here. I'm assuming this is like a how to play guide presentation. Yeah, so this is basically the PDF that you see on their website. I'm not going to open that up all the way. This is one of those, I think it's a paper playmat, kind of like a, yeah, so this is a paper playmat, so like Yu-Gi-Oh! I think Pokemon does this. With a really cool piece of art, actually. I kind of want to take a look at that. Oh yeah, it's like their promo art. That's really sweet. And then the back side, or the front side rather, has the play area, which is also pretty cool. And then the starter deck. I believe this deck is pre-constructed. Actually, it is pre-constructed because I do remember on the website they had all of the contents. So one of the interesting parts about this game, and I'm gonna refrain from saying interesting too much, is the deck construction is pretty cool. So a deck can have up to 15 rares and uniques. And this is just a little cool token. And of course, you've got your hero, but commons make up a good majority of the game here. And you can tell that something is a common if there is no, well, first off, if there's a black border, and second, if there isn't a little blue color gem thing here. And we'll go over all the cards, but when we're trying to find a rare, like this is a rare, and you can see that's borderless, and the art is actually a little bit different, hence the name altered. Like you can see here that this is a common version of a card, and then this is the rare version. And that leads to some really cool gameplay decisions. It makes you consider how you build your deck, and if you want to have faction shifted cards, there are some cards that are allowed from other colors that you wouldn't normally be able to play. Or sometimes there's just a straight up upgrade. And because you only have a limited amount, you have to carefully consider what cards you're putting in the deck. And as a result of that, commons make up a good chunk of the game, which is kind of cool. So I have found that I really enjoy Bravos. In Magic the Gathering, I'm a really big red player. I'm also an Izzet player. I'm predominantly an Izzet player, so I like slinging spells and doing all of that nonsense. But by the end of the day, I like dealing damage. And this game doesn't have like direct damage. Again, it's non-confrontational. But I have found that Bravos just really speaks to me. It's high octane, it's a little more high energy, and Kojo and Buddha so far have been my favorite hero overall. There was another hero that I can't remember his name. He's another Bravos guy. I know his companion is named Surge, and he's like a lightning dude. I really like that. I like the look of that guy. I don't know if I like the play style. But we'll kind of go through a bunch of this, and you can see here that the QR codes were another big talking point with a lot of people. And if you're watching this, just know that I've redeemed all of these codes already because I've noticed people have been selling cards on eBay right off the jump, and one of the curiosities is, well, if you're gonna do that, you have to make sure the cards aren't scanned. So people have been selling cards that are already scanned. Some people have been selling cards that have not been scanned, and there's some really interesting implications that I think that's going to have on the secondary market, especially because this game. Oh, cool, Buddha token, love that. There's tokens on the back. This game is trying. Oh, and you get a rare foil. We'll talk about this too. This game is trying to alleviate some of the concerns around secondary markets to begin with. We haven't really seen that come into play quite yet because that's like a coming soon feature. But anyways, starter deck I think is going to be neat. I primarily purchased this because I think there are going to be some cards that I'm going to use out of this. I've played with these starters, so I'm familiar with some of the cards and some of the mechanics. We'll kind of go over it a bit more um, outside of just looking at the starter deck, and I'll actually talk about some of the cards as we see them. Um, I yeah, the rare physical training, this thing. So like this is a decent example of like why you would consider one particular rare over another. So like physical training is nice because you basically give something plus three, plus three, plus three. It's kind of an oversimplification of it, but that's effectively what you can do, which is useful. That'll help you win a lot of your expeditions. But one thing about this game is that card draw is kind of middling. It's not, I wouldn't call it scarce, but I wouldn't call it easy either. There are some games that literally just reward you for playing the game with card draw. Like a really obvious example is like the Digimon trading card game. You can play a card and draw a card. You evolve a Digimon, you draw a card. Like it's just a thing in that game. So here, to have a rare that also refills itself, and then also keeping in mind that one of the key aspects of the game is that there's a reserve. There's a when you play a card, unless there's a keyword fleeting, that card goes in this little reserve pile, and then you can play that card again. So you have like a secondary hand almost. So I think the game designers are aware of that, and card draw, consequently, is a little bit less available for certain factions or even really certain heroes or characters. So you'll kind of see that going on. And also, this is kind of a fun one, but this is a dragon Shenlong, and that's the standard art. And I'm hoping we better get the Kickstarter edition art because these are Kickstarter edition packs. So we have an additional booster pack. We get some foilers, some extra guaranteed nonsense and stuff, and we'll kind of talk about it as we go. So let me go ahead and put these away for a second. I don't think I care about the order of these right now. The foiler is pretty cool too. We'll talk about that. And I've got a lot of thoughts about a ton of different things here. So let's just move the starter deck aside and jump into it. This is a very unscripted video as well. So if I ramble, I'm sorry if I say the same thing twice, my bad. But I really wanted to get some thoughts out. And for additional context, I have to say that I've been following the game a lot when the Kickstarter was going, and even before then, of course, I made a 50-minute YouTube video talking about it. But one of the things that I kind of fell off on was that after the game's initial Kickstarter, I kind of just stopped paying attention to it. We played, my friends and I have really taken to the game. It's really fun, and we played with a bunch of starter decks, and again, we've done like some of our own stuff. But I think one of the key things about the game that really halted it for us is that we like physical cards. I've been playing a little bit of Magic the Gathering again, and not having the actual cards sometimes feels a little weird. And that doesn't matter for everybody. I know a lot of people would like to play digital card games, and I'm actually going to talk about that here in a bit. But yeah, I just like every other Kickstarter, I kind of fell on the back burner, and I was just waiting for them to arrive. And now that once I got the confirmation that we were getting these soon, my interest for the game kicked back up. So we'll be going through some stuff, but just so you know, from like my gameplay experience level, I basically played with all of the starter decks and a couple of other reveal cards, and that's basically it. So there are a lot of people out there who have more experience than I. But anyways, we've got oh yeah, every pack has a foil hero, and I actually like the way that the foils are done. I'm gonna take a second here to talk about the foils. So far this is pretty flat, and if you know anything about games like Magic or to some extent Pokemon, less so, foils usually curl and they turn into Pringles pretty quickly. I'm actually kind of against foils as a result of that. I mean, actually, I kind of like Pokemon's pretty good about it, but we'll see how these hold up over time. But I'm gonna go ahead and just start sorting these into piles because I'm a Bravos player, and my buddy Tony, my best friend, is probably going to play either Izmir or Axiom. So Izmir is kind of the spells matter type of class faction, which I like, but none of the gameplay patterns didn't resonate with me the same way they do in like Magic or Hearthstone or even Digimon. Or even Duelist. There are a lot. I typically really like spells matters, and Izmir didn't do it for me. So I'll have to play a bit more and see. Axiom is kind of like I don't want to say artifact, but they're landmarks, and they're basically landmarks slash artifact permanent matters types factions. That's again an oversimplification. Mulan is super tight. I This card to me seems like a menace. It just you can just play it over and over and over again. Yes, there's a cost associated with it, of course, but to basically have a card sit indefinitely in your hand in reserve until removal hits it, I think is neat. Tanuki, this is a cool card too. I've got a buddy of mine who is probably going to end up taking all of our Lyra cards, so he's a Lyra player. Mana, this is probably my least favorite, or not least, well, probably least favorite, but least played um, faction as well. I'm really curious on Ortis. First, I thought this was like the white weenie type of faction. I don't know why faction is such a hard word for me to say, but then the more I looked at it, there's a lot of really cool cards about um, like control elements and putting things to sleep and delaying when you go in effectively. So I didn't even see how many rares there are. So this is rare one. I think each pack has what, three rares? Hattered. This is actually a faction shifted card. So I don't know if I'll pull the original card, but this is actually from Lyra, and you can see here that now it's in Bravos. And one of the interesting parts about doing that is you, as a designer, get to choose if the thing is going to be ported like one to one. So, like, is this the exact same as the common version? I couldn't tell you because I don't know what half of these cards are. But sometimes they have slightly modified effects, even compared to their original faction, just to make sure that it makes sense for this particular faction as well. Copelia? Also, the whole fairy tale thing, I don't have I don't know how I feel about it. I'm very ambivalent towards it. Oh, this is neat. So this is a rare version of this one here, and then I got a foiler token. I'll probably do like one foil token giveaway like at the very end or something like that. So let me see if I can pull the dude I want to pull. What's his name? Something in Surge is all I remember. So if there are four rares in here, that'd be pretty cool. There's also, oh, this is a cool one. I love the giant artifact created Toxin. Toxin, I guess is the name. It's really cool looking. I think this is sweet. I have no idea how this hero plays because you basically play super defensive until you don't. And that's neat, but you just put that in this pile. So we got move on again. Um, a lot of people have also been chatting about like the QR codes on the bottom. Some people I didn't realize really dislike that QR code. I have really grown to not give a fuck. I don't think it's as big as a deal as people. This is a cool card. I think this is. I actually don't know. Oh, it's a Money card. Okay, because Bravos has this card too, and I guess it makes sense because it's a rare. Again, just looking at the black borders. That's a really sweet card. But I think there's a lot of personality that this game has, even though I don't necessarily. The art has grown on me in the sense that I tolerate it. It's still not nowhere near my favorite. There are some neat cards, but I don't know if there are. Oh, hey, there's the. Okay, this is one of the cards I do like the art on. Specifically this alternate art. I think this is really beautiful. I will be probably putting that in my whatever in Surge deck because he cares about ramping and playing big creatures or big what are these characters. So that's really sweet. Happy I got that. Mana Druid. I almost said Mana Druid. I'm magic pilled. Celebration Day looks really cool. I like this. Um, and a token. So you can get either tokens or you can get foilers and stuff. I just put my tokens on the side over here. Um, but yeah, I'm really excited to see how this plays in paper. I think on paper this game has the potential to either be really fun or kind of annoying. Oh, I gotta reprint. I got another one of these. Well, I guess there's 37 of them, so the odds of me getting all of them are pretty high, and I have 4 booster boxes. So again, the odds are pretty high. But I think we'll probably do some, oops, sorry. We'll do some gameplay on my channel, maybe like 1 or 2 games in paper over like webcam or something. I was hoping that my buddy would be here so we can get one set of paper, like in-person games, but that's not happening, and it is what it is. Orta's carrier is tight. I'm a big fan of that. Vanguard's cool. Look at this little mushroom guy. He's just a little guy. He's just a little guy. Is this just interesting? Oh, it's a 1 drop. Okay, I was like, that seems kind of bad, and then I saw the mana cost. Also, I really love the back of the cards. Like, I have clear sleeves that I use for tokens and such, for other card games. And for this one, oh, I didn't get a token on this. Um, but this as the card back and also being your mana, I adore. I really do adore. This guy's cool. I think he's the. Oops, get this to focus. So yeah, he's the spells matters guy. You play a spell, you get a boost. So you buff your guys by playing spells. So ideally, you would like remove something or bounce something, and then you would get your guy stat boost. Because one of the things with Izmir is that their characters, it's gonna take me a minute to say, are notoriously very weak. So that's pretty sweet. Depending on, oh, that's really cute. Actually, I like the art style. It's I don't know. This one has like a bit more texture to the art. Obviously, it's not like on the actual card itself, but the painting is really sweet. But yeah, one of the things that I'm really excited for. Try to get my thumb out of the way. I'm not. I'm not a good pack opener. I'm so sorry. One of the things I'm really excited for about this game is trying out the other heroes that I haven't really spent the time to play with since the initial revealing of this game. So now that everything is out, I'll probably end up playing significantly more. This dragon's pretty cool. Eternal. That's a cool mechanic. Eternal. During rest, I don't go to reserve. Yelly. So I didn't wait. How many? One, two, three. This is 4. So what's this last card? It's just mana. What is this? I can't be played, but I can be used as a mana orb. In draft, you may add any number of mana convergence cards to your deck. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. There are different formats. So this is a good reminder. So Altered has put in that's interesting that has its own QR code as well. Altered has made other formats from day one. So there's already a draft mode that I have not I don't even know what the rules are. And there's also a multiplayer mode, which again, I don't know what the rules are. But for them to support that on day one, I think is a really good hey, nice. I am definitely rocking that. Kojo and Buddha. So this guy, he makes his little dog cat fire thing every other turn, basically. So it's an aggressive push. Big fan, huge fan of that. Actually, I'm gonna set this aside. um, but yeah, there's a draft mode, and I'm a huge fan of draft and limited formats. So I will probably end up doing some drafts. I don't know if my local game store is even going to support Altered because that's kind of one of the interesting parts about this game and other Kickstarter games is that a lot of LGSs are kind of averse to Kickstarter games for a multitude of different reasons. And with Altered's shoot, I gotta stare at my camera. I gotta remember what I'm looking. I'm so sorry. But with Altered's marketing system strategy, secondary market, this card is really pretty. I actually like this a lot. That's cool. But with Altered's secondary market system, we'll see how it goes. I'm not really sure if my local game store will care for it, and I think one of the biggest things that this game has to prove to itself is, well, I guess two of the things that this game has to prove to everybody. Oh, this is the Axiom hero. So basically, you get a permanent and you get a bug. So this again, permanents matter. Pretty cool. I actually enjoyed playing this hero quite a bit. But yeah, I'm really curious to see what local game stores end up doing and what Alter decides to do with its secondary market because there's already an app in which you can scan your cards in, and at some point in the near future you'll be able to. Oh, this is like the whale thing. But at some point you'll be able to buy, sell, and trade cards with other players. And then of course, there's a whole print on demand system. We've yet to see pricing for that. We have yet to see how it actually works. So I can't really comment on it quite yet, but I think that's going to have an impact on what people. And honestly, funny enough, the QR codes. I think it has an impact on the game in such a way that people will not interact with this game like they do with some other trading card games, and that's not a bad thing either. I'm not saying that in a disparaging kind of way, but it's something to factor in because there are just certain things that you do with other. Oh, I got a unique foiler. I haven't even seen a unique yet. That's another key thing we'll talk about. But I think with the way that this game is built and some of the ideas that they're bringing to the table, it could do a lot of good or it could potentially do some harm with sales. And another huge thing that I have to mention that I think people don't consider when they think about trading card games and they think about um, multi-million or multi-billion dollar companies. Well, hang on. What is? I don't remember reading this one. At noon, you can pay one and put a card from your hand in a reserve and make a brass bug. Huh. That seems pretty solid. Um, One of the things about this game is that, they've mentioned that they're a small company in France, and while, the goal of a company is to make money, they may not be targeting as like aggressive numbers as, I don't know, a Wizards of the Coast or a Hasbro or a um a Konami. Actually, even then, Konami, I've heard has had decent like reprint policies and stuff. So we're just gonna use Wizards of the Coast. We're just gonna pick on them for a minute. But their their goalposts may be in different locations. So what we, maybe what we're the lens that we're looking at their sales may not be the same way that they're looking at it, which could be a good thing. Who's to say? All of that to say, I don't know how this game. I don't know if this game will be successful or not. I think the two parts that matter the most, and there's another mana convergence, are A, is the game fun? And yes, the game is fun. B, they've talked a lot about their supporting like competitive formats and organized play. Organized play especially is going to be huge because you need to give people a reason to buy the cards and not just print cards on demand and not care about this whole QR code system digital ownership. Oh, I wonder if that'll scan. I wonder if you guys can see this. Hey, don't scan my card because it's already scanned. But can you guys see this QR code? So this is weird because the QR code looks a little blurry, and I promise you it's not because of my camera, but because the actual card is, I don't want to call it misprinted, but I wonder if that'll scan or not. I'll try that out later. Actually, I kind of want to try it now. Hold on. We're gonna grab my phone, and so again, Altered has an app. when you buy actually I don't even think it's on the Play Store yet, but I think on the Apple App Store it's there. But if you scan the QR code, it takes you to a download. I'm gonna hide this real quick and log in because I'm curious to see if what happens if you get a defective card, because that seems like a big deal, right? I didn't even think about that. I just kind of assumed that there would never be a print error. And I wonder if maybe like, the company would be good enough to give you a new QR code or something along those lines. Error loading page. That's no good. Love that. Hold on. Let's try this again. Am I logged in? Error loading page again. Okay. Well, am I logged in? The other thing too is this app has to be good, right? Like it's gotta be solid. I don't know if I'm logged in or not. So we may not be able to do this. All right. Well, we will try that some other time. I was trying to see if I could scan a card live, but um maybe I don't know if this video is going to be edited or not. I famously do not like editing videos, so we'll see. You might, or maybe you won't see. Who's to say? When this card leaves your reserve during the afternoon, if you have less than 5 scrap counters, you gain a scrap counter. If you have a scrap counter, you tap it, draw a card, put a card in your hand in reserve. So it's a card draw engine. Pretty neat. I love this guy, little tiny Jin. He's just a little guy, but I think this will be good for like ramp strategies, which I have historically not cared about. But if Bravos cares, then I care. Is what I'll say. Man, sorting these cards by faction I also have to say is a little tricky when there are so many faction shifted cards. I'm like trying to use my memory, but then I look down and I'm like, what faction is this? But yeah, the art seems really cool. The gameplay seems pretty cool. I really enjoy. Oh, I got my first unique, and it's not on my color. That's okay. And then we got a unique foiler. That's neat. So, what is it? Isunboshi? I have no idea how to say that. This is a really cool example of a unique card. So I think I have one who's typically a Bravos guy, and if not, I can pull one off of a starter deck. Yeah. So this is the original, and then this is the unique. So a couple of things have changed. Obviously, the stat line has changed, the mana cost has changed, the faction has changed, and the effect is completely different. This is basically just a brand new card. The only difference is that the art is different and golden and such. And I've heard from a lot of people who have seen and cracked open their packs that uniques are overall either weird or kind of underwhelming or sometimes both. So in terms of balance, oh, this is the library hero. This one is like the random resupply, so you like ramp, but it's kind of random-ish. That's kind of neat. But yeah. So the uniques have been, from what I've heard, underwhelming or unique in their kind of like build around stuff, as the name would imply, they're unique, or just like not great. I don't know, and that could also be somebody's like early judgment when we all as a community don't understand the game to the fullest. That's the regular version of that. Wow, it looks the rare looks really pretty, comparatively. I mean, the regular one's fine too. But yeah, I'm really curious to see what's gonna go on. I keep thinking I get something crazy when I see like this, but then I realize that every card from here on out it's like a full art. Which is great. I also really love full arts. But yeah, I we'll just have to see. Oh, there's another token. We'll just have to see where things go with this. Um I'm not sure. I know somebody somewhere out there is gonna own me with a random unique that they pull. But yeah, organized play's gotta be a big deal. Oh, I got another one of these things. Um their whole system around the printing and reprinting has to be managed in such a way that you can still incentivize people to buy packs. So whether it be their pricing model that they put out or something else, there's got to be a reason why somebody would still want to buy a booster pack instead of just reprinting all of their stuff and not, or having a friend print their cards and not care about licensing because they are not playing in events. So it's a it's a unique, no pun intended, problem to have. I don't think it's necessarily bad that they're approaching it this way either. I think it's just a different way to look at card games because card games do not have to be as expensive as they really are. And this inevitably will drive costs down. Also, one thing I got to talk about too that I think would be so sweet, just while we're talking about the whole like digital aspect of the game and reprints and stuff. I think one thing that I would absolutely, and I mean absolutely love to see is who makes this game? I was gonna say Altered, but who makes this game? Who makes this game? Equinox? Is that their name? Equinox. Um, I would love to see Equinox publish a. That's the guy at Saudi. Yeah, this guy. He looks sick. And look at Surge. It's hollow. I'm rocking this. This is tight. This is probably the thing I wanted the most. Well, actually, I think there's a chance for you to pull a textless version. If I get a textless version of this guy, that's the goal. That's what I want. But this is still really sweet too. I usually don't care about like the flat, boring foils, but like this is subtle and kind of really nice. Anyways, so he starts the game with 5 heroism counters. And whenever you play a counter from your, or whenever you play a character from your hand that costs basically the same or more, equal to like his heroism counters, you draw a card, he gets a counter. So you play a 5 drop, you draw a card. 5 drop or greater, you draw a card. You play a 6 drop or greater, you draw a card, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of like ramp strategies and stuff. I am putting that on the side as well. What were we talking about? I completely lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. Um, an online system. So one of the things about being a digital game and having a collection being managed, and one of the things that I've enjoyed lately about a Magic deck that I've been playing of all things, is the ability to play both in paper and digitally, and having a seamless or a close to seamless experience. And I don't want to talk about it too much here because I'm going to be making a video about it sometime in the future. And I mean, depending on how long it takes for me to do other stuff, I can't promise when that video is coming out. But one thing that I've really enjoyed in Magic right now. Oh yeah, common foilers are a thing. I don't. This is my first common. My common foilers have been less common than my uniques. Um, Actually, thinking out loud, how does that work? They've talked about this, but does one common foiler foil one copy or all copies of a card? Also, this is yeah, that tripped me out because this is a faction shifted card. But yeah. So I've recently been playing Magic Arena, and I built a deck that I can play both on Arena and in paper, and it's been probably the most fun I've ever had playing Magic the Gathering in over a decade. Like I've really, really loved it. Ren and Orchid. What is it? What does this thing do? When one of your expeditions move forward due to forest, that is forest, right? Yeah. Draw a card, then put a card from your hand in reserve. So forest tribal, I guess. Not really. That's not entirely true, but that's interesting. Um, but yeah, I think. Oh, this card's cool. The Weeb card. Big fan. The effect of this is neat too. You can't be played unless you have less than 7 mana orbs, or you can't be played if you have less than 7. So this is kind of like a ramp payoff, which is neat. But Altered has a very um fortunate ability to, well, they've got a really cool potential to do something really sick. And that is make a game where your digital collection and your physical collection can be played simultaneously without having to go through too many hoops. Like even right now, like when I, build this magic deck, I still have to go and craft the card online or buy the card in person. And it's a little clunky, but it's not that bad overall. But Altered can incentivize players to buy physical product. Oh, wait a minute, I just realized I did get a unique and I put it in a stack somewhere. This is cool. Bravo. Okay, I've had two Bravos original unique cards that are not in Bravos, and that's really upsetting to me. Um, yeah, this seems sweet. I love the art of this. Um, I just realized that this Blade Dancer is literally just like killing something. I think this is probably the most violent card I've seen in Altered, and it's not even that violent. I mean, it's stabbing a dragon thing in the neck, I guess, or a hydra. But that's really sweet. I love the art of that. I don't know if I'm sure Tony's gonna beat my ass with that card or something one day. But yeah, I think if Altered makes a solid digital client one day, okay, look, I think I said this in my original video too. But digital clients take a lot of work. Oh, this is little spike, little cactus spike. His name is Spike. Discard a card from your reserve. Oh, tap this guy. Discard. What is the tap symbol? Because you can't call it tap in this game. The next character you play this turn with hand cost 3 or less gains anchored. So he's a little guy. He likes, he's fighting for the little guys. That's cool. I like that. Haven, tight. But I think, oops, sorry, I just goofed my camera up. Sorry, smacked it. But yeah, I understand that making a digital client is a ton of work, but what really bums me out is that there's already an amazing fan client that exists that you can play today that I think is better than the board game arena version of the game that you can also go out and play today. I think from a user experience, oh, this is cute. Oh, it's eating dreams. Oh, this is like a tapir. This is like what Tapir Mon and like Drowsy and stuff are based on, right? Or I guess Abaku is a whatever. I'm bad at mythology. uh but yeah, I think when you compare side by side the what is it called? Clients that are out there, the fan made one is far and beyond a better experience. I think it's just overall more fun. Foundry Engineer. Next permanent you play this afternoon costs 2 less when you play this from your hand. That's cool. When you go to reserve from the expedition zone, if you have less than 8 mana orbs, sabotage. I think that's okay. Look. I don't play a lot, and I'm new, and we're all figuring this game out together. But this seems good. Like that seems great. I like this a lot. I think that's going to be a fantastic card. I should also point out that because of the nature of uniques, even if there is a really strong unique card, the odds of somebody pulling it in their deck, right, like 1 out of 40, and then playing it, and then it's a one-time thing, so you know that they don't have two more of them. I think the unique system by nature is a lot more balanced. And I think people, while they did have the right to freak out, I don't think it's nearly as problematic as it sounded. Nevenka, this is the dice roll girl, so I know my buddy is going to be all over this card, and I'm probably going to end up giving it to them. But yeah, I really just think a digital client would be super cool. It'd be a fun way to incentivize people to actually go out and own cards as well. And you've already got such a good client. I just really hope that they don't look at the board game arena one and then think like, oh, well, they know that there's already a fan client. So I think they're smart enough to realize that people really enjoy the fan client. There's a lot of features. There's a lot of things that you can potentially do with a digital client, and I think they are on top of that. So at least I hope. I don't know. Okay, so I gotta speed this up a little bit. I'm gonna try because I realize I'm only like halfway through this box. We gotta get moving. This video is already 38 minutes long. I do want to show off the new heroes though, so I'll continue doing that. But Waru and Mac, he's like a little weasel ferret thing. I actually like this card a lot. At noon, if you control one or more bureaucrats, so it cares about a creature type, you make a 1/1 recruit. But also, whenever you play a bureaucrat, you can have a gain asleep. So basically, you can suspend the card for a turn. So you can say, you know what? Maybe I'm either not winning this one, um, or I want to save up for a bigger turn because I'm planning something. This is a really fun way to kind of mess with the timings of the game in a way that I think really benefits the just the overall like play style and the mechanics of what we've been presented thus far. I think it's a really sweet card. Oh, this house has this house has feet. It really tripped me up. I was like, what? It was a Buddha token. Where's this going? And this is everyone's favorite cat dog thing. That's a cat. That's totally a cat. So people have also said with regards to the boxes too that about 3 boxes is enough to how many I've gotten 3 of these. Um about 3 boxes is what it takes to get a playset of everything, and a playset in this game being 3 of each card. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. There's also a chance I don't remember if this is I okay. I love this card. My friends jokingly call it Sacre Bleu, but this card's really cool because you can effectively reverse the progress of somebody. So when you play this thing from your hand, your opponent's expedition facing this guy, so whatever is uh directly in front of it, goes back 1 region, which is really fun. Like it is a literal setback to your opponent. I enjoy that card a lot, and it just so happened to be in Bravos. It also just so happened that you could ramp into that in my what's his name? Atsadi. So yeah, huge fan of that. Really looking forward to it. But yeah, there's apparently a god pack where you can get a pack full of uniques. This is the starter deck girly as well for Izmir, but it's got an ability where if you're the first player, you don't have to go first. So you can choose if you want to go first or not. And in this game, with the timing, the kind of back and forth nature, where you play a card, your opponent plays a card, you play a card, opponent plays a card, that ability is way better than it sounds. Aether Shard. I have not seen this card before actually. This is a draw card. Every turn, you draw a card. 5 mana, every turn, draw a card. That seems good if you can make it that far. But yeah, that kind of shows like the value of card draw. That's 5 mana and its sole purpose is to draw cards. Whereas like I don't know if you play a game again like Digimon, you just draw cards instantly, and then in Magic, drawing a card is usually worth like what on average 2-ish mana, if that. So 5 mana draw a card every turn, pretty good. In Magic, you'd probably see. I'm getting a ton of Bravos cards, which makes me very happy, but I do have that already. Um, but yeah, I think having card draw at such a high cost is going to be an adjustment for me because I come from every game I play. My 2 favorite things are drawing cards and casting spells, and I've that's a token. I've done kind of the opposite when playing this game, which I think is a fun differentiating factor for me personally because that is not a play style that I would typically exhibit in basically any game. And I'm pretty consistent with how I play games. I mean, the only consistent thing here is that this is an aggressive strategy with a lot of my Bravos cards. So that remains the same. We got the Orchid Girl. Oh, Orchid is the name of the bug. My bad. Sorry, we're gonna try to speedrun this. We got the all-in RNG card. That's a literal dice roll, and then you just get boosts based on whatever you roll. That card can definitely swing a game. Lyra is kind of an interesting faction in general, where you can definitely just swing a game by high rolling, which some people find fun. I'm I'm not one of those people, but hey, do you? Got another one of my boy. I feel like I'm missing some of these rares. Not rares. What are they? Heroes? Foil heroes? Actually I'm definitely missing some because we haven't seen the mirror lady, who's like the sacrifice kind of. I don't call it graveyard strategy, but definitely like a more aristocrats style of game. Uh, hero Amelia Earhart. This is a unique. When you leave the expedition zone, make a 1/1/1 soldier on your hero expedition. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's okay. Sure. And then a foiler. I've heard some people talk about like their kind of disappointment in not having foils in every single pack as well, outside of like the promo hero dudes. But and this even I believe this is a Kickstarter only, so you won't get a foil hero in every single pack as well in the retail sets, if I'm not mistaken. I admittedly did not do all my research before making this video. I saw the boxes and I wanted to crack them, and here we are. But I believe that I love this card too, Mighty Jin. It's in I believe this is a Bravos card, but it's faction shifted here. So when it leaves the expedition zone, it turns into mana. And then the rare version also lets if you don't do it, you draw a card. It's really good. It replaces itself. But yeah, some people were kind of bummed that the cards don't come in foils, but well, first off, for me as kind of an avid foil hater, I find it really nice. But if these cards don't foil, or don't foil, oh my god, don't curl, then I will use the foilers, and I think that'll be really fun. I think given the ability to choose your own foils too is way more preferred than just getting a random foil in a pack. And maybe that's just me being like a sweaty min-maxer, but I can't tell you how wasteful it feels for me to get a card of some random, bullshit common that I'm not going to use, and then it's foil, and I'm like, dang, it's still going in the trash, uh, or wherever it's going to go. So to me, having that ability to choose the cards I foil, that was really sweet. Tasia, Taja, and Nara. I'm butchering that. The first character you play each afternoon gains one boost. Okay, so I'm guessing that's the big Stompy. I keep wanting to say Commander. Oh, Mighty Jin. Yeah. The big Stompy hero. Also, I guess another small thing about the Kickstarter boosters, so we definitely got another rare in every pack, which is sweet. Banishing Gate's cool. Um, we'll probably get that card again. I'm not picking it back up. Um, one one nifty thing about the Kickstarter boosters is that like the rates are increased, but on the bottom of each card there's a little like A or altered symbol to let you know that hey, this is a Kickstarter card. You got it from way back when, which I think is really cool. Um, I don't know how. To me, that's like just a neat thing. I don't think it's gonna affect like the value of cards or anything long term. I really think the financial conversation of this game too is gonna be a curiosity within itself because of all the possible things that could happen with that's a cool card, Slick Bastion. All the things that could potentially happen with the uh not the secondary market. What are the print on demand service? Because a you could theoretically give somebody like a deck or something. You could just print them a deck, they can try it and sample it, and then they may end up loving the game so much that they go out and they buy their own cards or do their thing. Or alternatively, people just want to play with the cards they have and they don't go to events, and then the game just kind of I don't want to say peters out because again, like I don't know what their level of is that a spell? It's a spell. I don't know what their level of success is or what they're measuring by. So who knows? Maybe like this Kickstarter is the most successful it's ever been, and they. Well, I mean, I think it was actually the straight up most successful trading card game Kickstarter. But maybe they're happy with this, and then they're not looking to. Oh, hey, that's the that's the lady, and she's got the token here, Maul. But uh, what Lindaway? I think that's how you. I'm really bad at names. I'm so sorry. But yeah, you make a 0/0/0 Maul when you tap her, and then whenever you sacrifice a creature, Maul gets +2/+2/+2. And it costs one less if you're not going first, which is really cool. So, some really interesting aristocrat sacrifice type strategies there. I think some people are going to really gravitate towards that. Um, I think it's cool. I'm not really a big sacrifice kind of person. Not my jam. It's not my least favorite playstyle though. But yeah, I I actually while we're talking about this, I really appreciate their conversations around release cadences as well. They had talked about um they were talking about how often they want to make a set and another Shenlong. And I think they said something along the lines of like Oh God, actually I don't remember. It was like one or two sets. Oh God, what was it? Oh, sorry, it was like 2 to 3 sets a year or something like that. And I think coming from the world of Magic where there are too many releases, it's kind of a breath of fresh air. I really want to take the time to enjoy the cards, to let the game develop, but also it puts less pressure on the card designers to feel like you're always having to make something, forced that's, new or crazy exciting or whatever. They can come in a little bit more organically because the designers have some time to breathe. So I think that's good. Mighty Jin, Spindle, that's neat. So I don't know. Really, I think at this point, the only thing that we could be looking for is a God pack. Sorry, I need to keep my cards up here. I'm so sorry. Um, or oh, see, another Bravos card that's not Bravos anymore. This looks really sweet. Like the art is really cool. What does this thing do? So it's Lyra. Actually, hang on. Can I get a regular version of that? Have I opened a regular version of this anywhere? Anywhere at all? No? I don't remember seeing this in a while. Okay, here we go. So this is the regular. I feel so biased that I've only been doing this for Bravo adjacent cards. Bravos adjacent. I'm so sorry for everybody else. But yeah, this is completely like this one is textless. This is just a vanilla. And this has season when you play it from I believe that's anywhere. I think the arrow is from anywhere. Next spell the next spell you play this afternoon costs one less. And if you control one more land, that seems awesome. And it's not in my color. But pretty cool, pretty cool. All right, we're down to the last a lot. We still have 9 packs. All right, I am very bad at box openings. Oh my, we're gonna speed run this. I can say that. Orc and Kibble, and Kibble is the bunny. Oh, okay. So this card to me is really interesting because I think it could either be well. First off, it is destroying my camera. All right, I'm not gonna. Not gonna. What is going on? All right, I have to keep it at a distance. I'm sorry, but when you play a character with a base stat of 0, I gain a performance counter. At noon, you may spend 5 of my performance counters to reveal the top card of your deck. You may play that card for free or put it into your hand. I think this card is either amazing or atrocious, with no in between. And what they mean by a base stat of 0 is that if you look over here, there are some stats, especially in Lyra, that often have zeros because Lyra has kind of the creatures aren't necessarily weak, but they have gaps, if you will. So that's a pretty cool upside to what is typically a downside, and I like that they did that. Like this is a 0. Um, Also, I'm now realizing that the stats themselves, like the bars, move depending on if one stat is higher than the other. Like these are even. I've not noticed that until now, actually. It's pretty cool. Can I get a god pack? Not a god pack. Where are you going? Tracer. Have we seen all of the heroes yet? I think we've definitely seen all the Lyra ones now. I didn't really talk about Fen, Fen and Crowbar I did talk about, just very loosely. So we've seen all those. I haven't actually talked about the other Bravos hero because I got so many of them in the beginning, and it's the one Bravos hero that I don't care to play. So maybe next time I see that one, I'll talk about it. And we talked to. Oh wait, we're missing Sigismar, I believe is the Ortis guy's name. He's on the booster or the starter deck. And I think that's it. That's the last one that we're missing. Last, yeah. So I think we're only missing Sigismar, right? Because we talked about Sierra and Oddball. We talked about oh, the robot guy I didn't talk about. Oh no, the scrap guy. So yes, never mind. I'm dumb. I'm actually just dumb. So let's go through. again, I'm gonna run through this real quick. Try to get these things out of here. So now you're just watching a card sorting video. That's sweet. This is gonna be the most biased Bravos box opening you might have seen. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Like there are some legitimately beautiful cards outside of this faction, but you guys know where my priorities lie at this point, all right? So if you ever play me, you'll know exactly what I'll be bringing to the table. Two of these. Whale. Oh wait, that's in the wrong spot. Bloop. Anansi, the spider thing. Oh yeah, my buddy was talking about this card. They really enjoyed it. Um, it's pretty sweet. Aloe vera. Just chilling. I do like that art. While we're talking about the art, I think the card frames have grown on me. They're still, I said this earlier, they're still, oh, whoa, two in a row? Oh, wait, that tripped me up. That's a faction shifted. I was like, did I just get a duplicate? But no. So I think these are identical outside of the faction. 6 mana orb, same stats. Sometimes you will see these slightly different. Again, maybe the stats are a little bit different, or um, some other nonsense. But in this case, nothing there. Talked about that. Generator, mana eruption. Asmodeus. Is it Asmodeus or Asmodeus? Asmodeus? Charge. This card is so sick. This card is so sick. You just give everything +1. Um it's like a giant anthem effect that can just blow somebody out. It's amazing. Big fan of that card. Um what is this? What is this? What the do landmark I must be dumb. Do landmarks always show up on the bottom? I was used to the name being up top. Oh yeah, they do. Landmarks are always on the bottom over here. I didn't something about this card in particular just felt incomplete. Like I felt like I just got a misprint, even though it's the same thing here. I don't know why. That really threw me off for a second. My brain just shut off. I got stun locked. Okay, we got like 4 packs left, I believe. Yeah, 4 packs. So I tried to not make this an hour long, but I think we're gonna go just over an hour. Dr. Frankenstein. So yeah, that was that Blade Dancer from earlier. Not stabbing something in the neck. Um, but yeah, the art style of this game, I mean, it's fine. It's growing on me. It is very Lorcana. And I have some friends that play Lorcana, so I've gotten used to the art direction of games like this and also like Lorcana, but I would be lying to you if I said I was a fan of it. I think the actual artwork and the art direction is beautiful, and I appreciate that the cards are vibrant and saturated and elicit like positive feelings. I really do appreciate that, but it is not my favorite. Oh, Sigismar. There we go. So this is just your typical white weenie hero. So at noon, you make a 1/1/1 on your hero side. So you just always have a 1/1. This is shockingly powerful. Like tokens in this game and having anybody whatsoever is way stronger than it would lead you to believe if you've played other trading card games. Um, like even in like duelists and stuff, making a just making like a 1/1 in Duelist is like whatever. And in Magic, it's pretty whatever unless you have a whole strategy built around it. But um, in Altered, it's pretty good. All right, 2 packs. Let's see what we got. Mojo. Wait, skirt. Scrambler. Bouncer. Wait, my brain is short circuiting. So I think another really curious part about this game that has honestly not bugged me as much as I thought it was going to bug me is that spells in this game, like spells being what you would, typically call like an instant or a sorcery in Magic, um, that's Hydrasena. Hydrasena. This card, it doesn't, so it doesn't go to reserve, but it has Tough X, where X is the number of plants you control. And when you play it, it gets 4 boosts. So it's always a 4/4, and then it just gets bigger and it doesn't leave. This could be nutty. Um, Ortis Carrier. This card is also very fun. Big fan. Um, we got another unique. Ogun. I think this is actually in the right faction. I think. Actually, I'm really curious. Um, I don't even remember what we're talking about anymore. Because my brain is shorting out. Yeah, Ogun. Oh, they changed his hair up and everything for this. I didn't even. That's really cool. Oh, look at his hair. I love the coloring of this card actually a lot. Like a lot. um, Different stats. He's a 1 drop. That's really sweet. When you play a permanent with a hand cost of 3 or more, if you control a token, robots you control other than him get one. So he's an anthem. That's sweet. I love that. I also really love when I like okay, the thing that I'm most excited for about gameplay with uniques, because we didn't get a chance to play with them, is that when you play against a friend of yours and you know that he or she has that one specific unique, um, it's gonna lead to some really fun moments where you're gonna go to yourself and then think, oh, well, I know that Vince has this specific version of Ogun, and if it comes down, then his deck may be built around this kind of thing, or I need a hold up removal for that, or whatever. I think as you play specifically with friends or with familiar players, and you start to learn their decks and what are in it, the unique part of the conversation is going to be really fun. So no God Pack in this one. That is a little bit of a bummer, but ultimately still enjoyed it. I wanted to try this QR code thing to see if this would scan. Actually, you know what? Let me just try the regular QR code. Does this scan? qr.alter.gg. So it does scan. So even if it is a little bit off, it looks like it still works. So that's cool. And it took me to Altered's website. So yeah, that is Altered TCG. I've got other boxes. I don't think I'm gonna be doing a ton of box opening videos because I mean really it's just a matter of me ranting and talking about different things. I think I want to go and play the game a bit more. There were a lot of foilers. Oh, I actually got way more commons than I thought. Hang on. But yeah, I don't see myself making too many more of these style of videos because, oh, I only got 2 unique foilers. I just thought I had more than I really did. Um, Neat. If you're watching this, if you made it this far, um, whoever gets this, have it. Feel free to please comment below if you have claimed this. But thank you guys for watching, for getting this far. Again, I don't suspect myself to play this, or not play this, to do box openings. I'm not really a box opening like guy, so I don't know. Maybe I'll do a live stream where we pick up another box one day. I'm probably gonna open the rest of these boxes with my friends so we can enjoy the game. Maybe we draft. Definitely see at least one gameplay video, and then we'll see how it goes. And if people like the game or the game takes off, then or if I have more thoughts, because I probably will, then yeah, we'll talk about it. So, anyways, guys, thank you so very much, and I will see you around. Peace out.